So in this video, we're going to be considering how the controllers are currently enabling the dregs of society. Those people that unfortunately are disconnected from their creator and are causing all manner of havoc and this chaos in the world, because that's what they need. They don't want peace. They thrive on chaos. So in this video, I'm going to go through what a narcissist is, what are some of the telltale signs, and what you can actually do about it. So what your counter move is to combat this rise in narcissism that has occurred over the last couple of decades. Now, this rise in narcissism might be to do with the way society is structured, but a lot of people are turning inward, but not inward in the sense of seeking their creator. They're turning inward and making it all about themselves. They're just completely looking to serve themselves. They're identifying with the ego almost exclusively. And even though the ego is necessary to operate on this 3D plane, it is not ideal for somebody to operate exclusively from the ego, because the ego operates from a place of fear, from a place of limitation, and it is constantly seeking and searching for any sort of threats, and to live in this sort of state is actually really awful. So I'm going to proceed here. It's probably going to get a little bit dark, but hang with me, and at the end there we'll go through how you can actually counter this end times attack from a whole range of narcissists that is coming our way. So I just want to preface before I go on that obviously I'm not a psychiatrist who can diagnose an individual with narcissistic personality disorder. What I'm referring to is the spirit of narcissism, narcissistic traits that are really clearly evident in more and more people at this particular time. And I believe this is in scriptures. I believe this is already written about in prophecies. So it's not just me saying it. There's plenty of evidence to suggest that we're going through an epidemic of narcissism. So what is narcissism? It's essentially somebody's complete and exclusive focus on themselves, the betterment of themselves. And what they do is they use things external to them in order to gain their milestones, to achieve their goals. So other people are seen as objects. How can I extract from that person? How can that person's status help me? How can that person's money, can I potentially manipulate that person to get money? I want a child. Who can I select that's going to be easy and not going to give me any hassles so that I can just fulfill my dream of becoming a mother? There's all kinds of goals that a narcissist will have. And again, they're just looking outside of themselves. They don't want to look inward. They don't want to connect with their creator. They would rather look outward to what is already available and see how they can take advantage of whoever they are able to manipulate and get inside of. Now, if we go back a couple of decades, maybe even 40 or 50 years, when community was a central focus in our society, people with narcissistic traits didn't really have an option to take advantage of others, because people were looking out for each other. People were able to identify when somebody was not pulling their weight. But in today's society, you have an enabling government that will provide financial resources, very lenient legal laws. However, what these narcissists don't realize, and what they maybe are incapable of asking themselves, is what consequences are going to come about from this type of behavior. Now, because we live in a counterfeit system, the justice system on this planet it works to a certain extent, but then there's a lot of areas where it just doesn't work, and that's pretty clear. I don't need to go into any details about that. We can see the revolving door in the justice system. We can see people getting heavily screwed financially in a range of matters that attend the normal courts and the family court. So the narcissists just think that because the justice system, because the authors that are writing the laws, that are saying to them, yes, you can do this. If that person has said that to you or they've done this, you can take them to court. They think that that's the ultimate system. But realistically, there is a divine justice system looking at absolutely every action, deed, and even thought that an individual is having. And ultimately, that is the overall justice system that you need to be concerned about. The one here on the planet, it's not really of a concern. People can get out of all kinds of things with money. You can manipulate that system quite easily. Another point about a narcissist and why they possibly don't ever ask themselves whether their actions are actually beneficial to other people, and is the harm I'm causing, because they know they're causing harm. They know they're doing the wrong thing ultimately. They're not stupid, these people. They're actually quite intelligent, some of them. They're very clever. But what they don't understand, or may not know, is that the mind can equally perceive reality as it is, or it can perceive an illusion and run that illusion as if it's reality. And what a narcissist does is lives in illusions. They believe that they are better, special, more worthy of all kinds of things on this planet. And that comes from insecurity, and there might be some trauma or something that's happened to them. Like, I'm not discarding any of the modern day explanations about narcissism, but it's still no excuse to treat your fellow human beings like they're just objects that you can extract finances and emotional energy and sympathy from. However, this is the reality. So what can we do about it? Well, sadly, let's say, and my heart goes out to these people because it just must be awful, but let's say you're the victim of a home invasion. You've done your best to lock your doors and everything, but they forced entry. They managed to find the car keys and they've taken the car. And you're sitting there going, how did this happen to me? Am I a bad person? Have I done awful things in my life? The reality is, the controllers are letting this happen and permitting this to happen because you're going to have to, wait a while there, you're going to have to call ABC locksmiths. So that's going to cost you maybe a few $100s. So that person's going to get some financial incentives from that. You're going to have to call possibly some CCTV companies to get quotes. Your insurance is going to be involved. There's probably going to be an excess that you're going to have to pay. It's very economically stimulating. It's economically stimulatory. And this is why it's being allowed to happen. So if you're in this position and then you're listening to the radio and you hear, oh, have you been involved in a home invasion? And sorry, not involved, but have you been the victim of a home invasion? Reach out to, I think it's Blue Care or somebody like that, that is offering counselling. So there you go. Who's paying for that counselling? The government. So the government that's allowing these youth to get around is also paying for people to receive help afterwards. So it's a really rough, brutal realization in this world to think that the people in control and the people that are supposed to be looking after our best interests actually, it's all just a setup, and it's all to extract money and emotional energy from us. Now, it's really difficult for somebody that's been a victim of a home invasion or that's been left in, tatters after being cleaned out in the divorce courts. Maybe they've been alienated from their children, and you're supposed to sit there and think, how did I bring this about? Like, how did I help cause this? And the reality is that the narcissists that are getting around, these people with no integrity, no care for others, they're able to do this at the moment, but they're able to do it for some reason. And that's not going to make anybody feel any better. But the reason to be honest, is for you to build your connection further with your maker and to turn to the new world that is being built right now. I know it doesn't seem like that. There's all kinds of chaos as usual, because that's what the controllers are here to do. They're here to provide contrast, which comes in the form of chaos, fake wars, and all kinds of movies and agendas, and you'll live without this and you'll be happy and blah, blah, blah. We all know what that is now. But the idea is not to pay attention to that anymore, because by paying attention to it, you're only going to allow that to grow and blossom more. And if there's anything we don't need right now, is we don't need the controllers getting any more of our emotional energy and time and focus. One of the last points I'd like to make, if you are going through some sort of narcissistic abuse, is that these people, unfortunately, no matter how many facts you present, no matter how much education, no matter how much empathy, they will just continue to take, they will continue to carry on and do what it is that they do, because they just don't have the ability to do anything else, unfortunately. So please don't waste your energy on fighting them. When they draw you in with their criticisms, with their assaults on your character, etc., don't take the bait. That's what they're relying on. They're relying on you to essentially be drawn into their drama so that they can get more and extract more from you. Now, it took me a long time, and I didn't even learn that in the time that was needed to save the relationship with my son. So I had to go through the family court, and fortunately I was able to navigate that in a manner that gave me some regular time with him. But there are many other mothers, fathers, grandparents that are suffering. This whole youth crime thing is having a huge impact. The oil crisis. So just remember, all of these are not genuine. Yes, they're real, and yes, they hurt, and yes, it seems like this is what it's like on this planet, but it's not how it needs to be. It's not how it was designed to be. And the counter move, I know it's been very general. I wish I could provide some really concrete hopium, but the reality is that it's just getting that relationship with your creator and asking, okay, I need help here. I don't know what I've done to deserve this. I thought I was doing well, and you'll be guided. You'll be guided to books, you'll be guided to podcasts, YouTube videos like this. You will be looked after, and it will be a slow path to begin with, but it will increase in intensity and speed, and you'll start connecting the dots, and you will eventually start to understand the goings on, the mimicry, and if you can then say, I want the genuine, I choose the genuine, it will happen. It might be slow, but it will happen. So depending on where you're at, if you're just finding out about narcissism, do the deep dive into it to find out the characteristics and traits to look for so you can avoid these people, or set up appropriate boundaries so that they don't impact your life. If you already know about narcissism and you're all good in that department, you're well researched up, focus on that relationship with your creator. And if you've done both of those things, well, congratulations, you have seen through the veil, pierced the veil, and are now able to live as heaven on earth, because there is no heaven in the afterlife, there is no hell. The heaven and hell that we have been taught through our lovely religious faculties is nothing but a lie. Heaven can be experienced right here on the planet, and hell can be experienced right here on the planet as well. Until I see you in the next video, keep well.